Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm so sorry. In this video, I'm gonna tell you about three things. I'm gonna tell you about three things that everyone has backwards. And once you see these, you're gonna be able to make dramatic shifts in the way you're living your life, if you so choose, if you're into that kind of thing. But I think you are, otherwise you wouldn't be here. My name is Trevor, and I am here to bridge the gap between the working world and the spiritual world. And when I say I'm here to bridge the gap, there really is no gap. The gap's kind of an illusion, but it's helpful as a visual, like a metaphor here. But that's what I'm here to do. I've had a long career in the working corporate world. I used to be a CPA and a tax consultant, and I'm in tech sales. And at the same time, over the last 6 years, I've also been on a very deep spiritual journey. I took up meditation 6 years ago. I've done a 10-day silent meditation retreat. I've gotten more into doing things like breath work, which has blown my mind. We'll talk about that in another video. But that's a little bit about my background and why I'm so interested in this stuff. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you about three things that I've gotten that really kind of complement each other in terms of different ways of thinking that come from more of the spiritual world, but that are very practical and directly applicable to more mainstream ways of being and thinking that you may be used to. The first, commitment creates certainty, not the other way around. Most people think they need to be certain that they can do something before they can get committed to it. That's not how it works. And we see this when we look especially at people who accomplish really big things and we hear their stories. What do we always hear? We hear that they just got committed to something and there was just no other way it was gonna be. I mean, if you've heard the story of how Sylvester Stallone got Rocky made into a movie that he starred in, there's nothing that explains that other than he was just committed. He was committed to, he's gonna make this movie and he's gonna star in it, and it became a certainty. It was a foregone conclusion. There's nothing special about him. He didn't get lucky. He got committed and he stayed committed. You need to keep renewing the commitment as well. Like, this stuff works. If you are committed, that is creating certainty. So we see this in celebrities and athletes and CEOs. Everyone's got some story, or if you listen to that NPR podcast, How I Built This, you'll always hear those moments, or you'll hear it in the voice of the people, how there was no plan B. There was no thought of, well, what if this doesn't? No, I'm committed. This is happening, and so it does.
Important to note here, you want to be 100% committed and 0% attached. Committed, not attached.
When you have a plan B, when you think, well, I need to figure out the how, I need to get it all, I got to make sure that the road's built before I'm going to take off heading down it. That's not how it works. Commitment is building the road as you go along. Commitment creates certainty. Thing number two, being begets doing. I talked about this in another video as far as a good question to ask. Instead of asking the question, what am I doing? What do I want to do? You ask the question, who am I being? Who would I need to be to do the things I want to do? Again, if you're talking about wanting to make some sort of identity shift, it's not about writing down different activities that you need to do and then trying to make sure you do them and check off on the board that you did them. I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm not saying that I haven't done that plenty in my life, but there's a better way. There's an easier way to go about it. And that's simply to look at the being that you're being. Who are you being? Are you being an athlete? Then you're gonna work out and eat a certain way. Are you being a reader? You're gonna make time to read. You're gonna read books. You don't read for 20 minutes a day and force yourself to do it and check it off after you did it and be like, oh yeah, whew, made it through that struggle again. You take on the identity of being a reader. Now, this is something as well, being, that's kind of hard to talk about. It's hard to observe directly. You can really only observe it indirectly by looking at the actions that you're taking. But when you're taking those actions and they feel a certain way, who Who are you being? Are you being someone trying to make this thing happen? You're trying to do something? Is that who you're being? Or are you just being the kind of person that does those things effortlessly? It's a shift that happens inside your own head. It's an experiment that you do in the laboratory of your own mind. And when you do, you find out the magical properties of it. The third thing that everyone has backwards is that they think they need to have it all figured out before they start. Case in point, I didn't have an idea for a third thing that I was gonna do with this video. Commitment creates certainty. That's a good one. Being begets doing. Great. What's the third one? I can't think of one. I can't start this video until I think of a third one. Well, I can, and I am, and I did it, and I'm still doing it. The point is that you just need sometimes to start. You don't need to figure it out. You need to start, and then you'll figure it out as you go along. You use in the laboratory of your own mind. That's the other big thing I want to stress about everything I talk about. It's not for me to say this stuff and you're like, oh, that sounds good, or is that true, or is that not true? All of this is for you to experiment with in your own life. So experiment with being begets doing. Experiment with when are you trying to get certain before you can get committed to something. And with all of these and all of this stuff, there's always more to see. Be gentle, be patient with yourself. Be patient and persistent. Patient and persistent. Relax and keep your foot on the gas. And relax and keep your foot on the gas. Let me know which of these resonated with you the most, and also let me know what you want to hear me talk about next. Subscribe, like, follow along, and we'll see you here tomorrow for another daily video. I'm doing this for another, at least, I made a commitment. I'm going to make daily videos on YouTube for 2 years. That's 730 days. This is day 12, so that means we got, if my math's correct, 718 days left. That's, I'm gonna check me on that. Is that okay? It's 718. So enjoy, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.